Alana,
and Megan.
and we are 3.2 minus 2, so really just 3 point.
3 point.
3 points. Missing 2 team members today.
One. They're both sleeping.
Yeah.
Actually. So here we are.
Yeah, so here we are. Do you have your phone?
Yeah. Okay.
We're doing a Q&A.
Thank you
World race.
to everyone who's asked questions. We really appreciate it. We're gonna answer all your questions.
We're in Los Angeles right now. It's 1:30 in the morning. We are going to go home from the World Race. But we all know all about the World Race, so we're going to answer your questions first.
How are you traveling and doing all these things? What organization is this?
So this is called the World Race Gap Year, and it's a part of Adventures and Missions, or AIM, which is like the big organization, and they do lots of different missions trips. They do like short-term month ones with groups, or they do semester trips, or they do gap year, or they do the World Race 11 and 11, which is 11 countries in 11 months. So they have like lots of different missions programs, and they're really great for if you do want to go on a mission trip.
What's one item you couldn't survive the World Race without?
My pillow. Do you want to see it? Here it is.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, my pillow. And I would also suggest bringing a few pillowcases. That way on travel days you could like layer them, and then after it gets more gross, take it off, throw it away. Take it off, throw it away.
Take it off, throw it away. Take it off, throw it away.
Very nice.
Okay.
Like having my Polaroid on the race, because then you could give pictures to people that you meet, and like, and they can remember you.
So mine was chapstick, but I think I just changed it.
Oh.
I don't think I could live without my camera, actually. Like, I really enjoyed taking pictures, and I made my first video in Guatemala, so that was kind of fun. It's really bad,
No, it's
but
not.
it's funny.
It's
funny
very
one.
good.
It's cute.
Yeah,
It's
but
not funny.
probably my camera. How do you feel like you've changed or grown since you've been on the race? I think for me, I've grown a lot. It's nice because I do have teammates that remind me that I've grown.
She's a very good listener. She's grown emotionally.
Thanks, guys.
Very self-aware now.
Yes.
I'm self-aware.
Self-aware.
Another.
Applause
Yeah.
there.
Physically,
Like-
I don't think I've
Physically?
grown. Yeah, I'm like.
Oh.
She's like, yeah. One of the biggest things that that I grew in is like realizing my self-worth a little bit more, and like realizing that I'm already enough and I don't have to work to like get the approval of other people, because like the Lord already says that I'm enough, and so yeah.
You've grown in a lot of
I've grown in a
areas.
lot of areas. The biggest thing is like I've learned what it looks like to be loved by God and like let myself be loved. I think it's probably the biggest thing, and not just like Christianity of doing things for God, but letting God like just be my man, you know, be my friend.
What's something you wish you knew before going on the race? Don't bring a big pack. You can bring a suitcase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring a suitcase.
For gap year.
If you're doing gap year, 11 and 11,
A little different.
little different. But if you're doing gap year, bring a suitcase.
It's so much easier to pack.
Do not bring a big pack.
Awful.
You also, like, I know I watched so many World Race videos before I did the race, and they all said this, but like I didn't care, and I was like, no, I have to be a racer, and I have to have a big pack, I have to have a tent, I have to have a sleeping bag liner, I have to have like a rain flag. Like I thought I had to have all of these things, and you don't. Find one person on your team, and if you don't like your team at training camp, that'll change later on the race. Like you'll love them. So just get a tent with your team. Like get a 3-person tent and get a tent with your team.
And then you like one person carries the poles, one person carries the like
The
bottom
rain fly,
thing,
one
yeah.
person carries the tent. Yeah.
It just works. Also, you need a big pack for training camp.
yeah,
Yeah.
they make you. So you can
So
borrow.
DM me on Instagram and I'll let you borrow mine.
I'll also let you borrow mine. But, or you can just buy one from Aria and return it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just be flexible. That's another thing I would encourage.
Yeah.
Also, sorry Meg.
No.
I almost didn't bring an airporter because I was like, I don't need an airporter. You need an airporter.
But if you bring a suitcase, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh
True.
yeah. Airporter is something that you put your big pack in.
And it like makes sure everything. things. in
And then
there.
when stuff doesn't fit in your big pack, you just put in your air porter.
Yeah.
So
And you drag your
Or-
air porter around the.
I would even
around
recommend
the
just bringing an air porter.
it's like a duffel
Oh my
bag.
gosh.
Honestly, like that could work.
And
or like-
packing cubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary said,
You forgot under.
I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I don't know how to pronounce that.
Okay.
Mary, you know who you are, said, did you bring a regular pillow on the race?
Yeah.
I also brought a regular pillow and I highly recommend it.
I did not. I brought like a travel size one, and I really loved it for travel days. Like it's like the one that like folds, and like I just clip it on my backpack, and so that was nice for like airplanes and stuff. I'm not super picky about my pillow though, so if it's like a priority of yours, definitely bring it. But like all the places we stayed at and lived, they had pillows provided, so that was nice.
But another thing is I used my pillow as a carry-on and I stuck everything in my pillow.
Yeah.
It
And
was
then you
ridiculous.
just tie it like this. Renee asked, besides being away from home and family, what has been your second biggest challenge? This is hard because we're in this season of like the
Yeah.
challenge is a little different. Like to be honest, being away from home and family is not my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So like that might even be my second biggest challenge.
Yeah.
That's
Because
not
the
my
thing is
biggest
like being away from family, what you don't realize is that once you go on the race, you have just like this constant flow of like loving someone and then saying goodbye. Whereas when you say goodbye to your family, you know you're going home. You get to talk to your family when you have Wi-Fi. So as much as like it's really hard to be away from family, because of just how supportive my family's been, it hasn't been like my biggest challenge being away from them.
Yeah, and I think just like she's getting on a plane and going home tomorrow, and like it just makes you realize that the goodbyes like to each other is so much harder than the goodbyes to your family because you know that they're gonna be there when you get home, you know.
Yeah.
So
Whereas like this season of life is constantly changing, and it's just like a constant flow of goodbyes because you're going to a country, falling in love with people, leaving, going to a country, falling in love with people, leaving, like being on a squad, falling in love with your friends, your team, and then it just makes
Like, so
still go
love
on it. It's
Yes.
like the best.
it's
ever.
the best type of love.
So worth it.
I love it. Yeah. Lexi, alumni team leader for GAPW,
Love you.
said, "What is a passion that the Father has sparked in your heart that's new?"
The Lord's really been teaching me about creativity and being creative without comparison. Just in like, I have similar passions in like photography and like videos especially, and like posting those and being like, I don't care if people like this or don't. Like it's just, it means a lot to me and it's how I'm gonna remember this year. And so like that's enough because I can be creative and the Father thinks it's beautiful and like just loves my heart in that. And like in other ways too, like I've been able to be creative in like drawing. I suck at drawing, but like I get to just do that for myself and like be with God in that way. And I got to lead worship for the first time this week, and so just like cool ways the Lord's been like, you are creative and you don't have to compare yourself in that. So
Okay. This is from Rachel. If you had to pick your favorite memory, what would it be? Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
We each take a country.
Okay, Guatemala.
I'll take Ethiopia.
Okay.
You could take Thailand. Because we all, like, we weren't that long in Thailand, but, like, there were so many good
Yeah.
moments. Okay. Go ahead, since you said it first.
Guatemala was my favorite country, so it's really hard for me to pick. But I think probably my favorite, there was just one night that our ministry hosts, John and Elsie, let us come up and stay in Panimakin, the village that we were doing ministry in, and just like spend the night there. And it was one of our last nights doing ministry, and we were in this like weird in between of like we have to say goodbye, but we still have a week left. And that same night, our ministry host John had like some people from the village over for just like a bonfire, and he got to just like pray over us and speak to us, and they translated into Spanish, and just feeling so loved from like a village that we were at for 3 months, and feeling so at home, and feeling like I could spend not only like the rest of my race there, like, but the rest of my life in Guatemala was just such a big like God moment.
Wait, there's a lot of fun. Like, we had parties, and those were fun. We had a birthday party. We had an awards ceremony for, like, our going away thing. Those were always really fun. But I really just loved, like, I didn't love it. Oh, okay. Saying goodbye was like one of my favorite memories. It was a really hard 3 months, and like ending it on such like it was heartbreaking, but just a special and like holy precious moment of just like hugging my best friend Dereje while he's bawling and I'm bawling. Like it was so special, and just this love that only came from the Lord. Like it was just insane. Like we lived with them for 3 months, so saying goodbye was the worst but like best ever.
First week was really, really special because our parents came to visit us, and that's something I know we were all really, really looking forward to for the 6 months leading up to that. And so like it was just really sweet to get to see them and be reunited with them, and for them to see like how much we've grown and how much we love each other and how much like we are passionate about like just serving others and like just like I don't know how we got to fall in love with Thailand we got to fall in love with Thailand with our parents and like kind of share that perspective with them. And even though we were only there for a week after that, they kind of like knew what like Thailand, and that was cool. So when we would say, oh, we're at this coffee shop, or oh, we're in the hostel, like they like knew and they could picture it, and that was like really sweet to sharing that with them. So.
Gracie said, have you experienced any sickness or something with your health from traveling? Okay, first let me explain our team sickness thing. So there's Megan, Alicia, Alana, Natalie, and Maddie.
Natalie's and Maddie are asleep.
Yeah. So Megan and I are over here where we never get sick. Like literally ever. We have great immune systems.
I'm just kidding.
We just never got sick on the race.
Like I just have a great immune system. Thanks God.
Thanks God.
So that's over here. Then we have Natalie. That's just smack in the middle. Like it just depends with
Had
her.
her days.
Yeah. Then we have Alana and Maddie over here where they just got sick all the time. It's sad, and it's like I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, definitely don't be scared. Like, cause a lot of people told me that before the race, like the worst days on the race were them being sick. And honestly, me being sick on the race, yeah, they were like hard days, but they were honestly some of my sweetest days. Just like with my team of, like my friends like doing my laundry for me, or people like playing with my hair, or like I come home and my bed is made, like come from the hospital where like everything was a disaster and like everything is picked up and cleaned and I have notes written for me, like, so don't be afraid of being sick on the race because it's okay.
Did you end up having
I had a few parasites
and a bacterial infection?
Yes, but I went to the clinic, got put on an IV. That was not a super good experience. Bacterial infection, but her appendix ruptured. They lied. They were wrong. But that wasn't a great experience, but hey, they thought I had some things I didn't. We ended up figuring it out, just a few parasites. Also, parasites are not as scary as people make them sound. Just throw up a bit, get some medication, then you're fine. But
also, can I add something?
Yeah.
Traveler's diarrhea is also a thing.
yes, I've had traveler's diarrhea
So real.
everywhere that I've been.
Gracie, she already asked one. She's actually going on a mission trip next year. In the
yeah.
fall. What's something that's been hard to deal with on the race that you maybe didn't expect?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I didn't really expect the goodbyes to be that hard. Like as hard as they were. Like saying goodbye to Guatemala literally wrecked my whole life. Like I thought my life was over. Like I just felt like someone like ripped out my heart out of my chest. And same went for Ethiopia. Honestly, same went for Thailand too. Even though we were only there 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now saying goodbye to, I think maybe the hardest thing that I didn't expect saying goodbye, like saying bye to my team and my squad was going to be that hard.
Yeah.
Because we all live in different areas around the world. Or around the country.
The country. I mean, and Costa Rica.
Okay, so good. Thanks, Val.
Shout out, Val.
Yeah.
I'm very extroverted, but community has been really difficult for me. Like, just different, like, even if you're an extrovert, extroverts need time, like, alone. Even if that's just, like, force yourself to be alone to process with the Lord, or, like, just to have a quiet time. Like, you are not alone ever. Like, you are never alone. Even in the bush of Africa, you can go and sit out in a field, and a kid will be right next to you. Like, because that you live on the same base as them. So, you just don't have alone time at all.
Last question from Sophie,
Sophie.
her friend. Well, she's my friend too, and her
Our friends.
Our friend. When someone asks you about the world race, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Go.
Activation.
Teen time.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my
What's
gosh.
a world race? I just think like adventures and missions.
Yeah.
She's like, what is the world race?
Countries. Goodbyes.
Yeah.
That's a lot to like pop in your head. And I'm going home. So they're gonna finish this video tomorrow, and our other teammate Natalie's gonna be in it. Shout out Natalie! You can put her
Natalie.
face right there.
She's
Like
over there.
Yeah.
it was a good 7 months.
Great.
That's crazy.
I'm like another
Another 7
do it
months.
again. Another 7 months. Be back, or they'll be back.
Point,
I'm going
point.
home.
2.
Love you.
Alright, that's a wrap, ladies.
That's a wrap. Time for bed.
Yeah.
Time for me to sleep.
Good
Do
night
you think I
for
can
a
do
few
pull-ups?
hours.
What time is it? Let me show them. Let me show the fans what time it is.
It's late.
Alright, guys.
Late. It's just, oh my god, Megan's gonna push me off the bed.
I'm sorry. Jet lag is real. Oh wait, you're
Really?
right. It's gonna be backwards.
That's okay. Hey, guys.
That was so
Okay, let's see. First one is kind of a big one. What in the 6 months has been your biggest personal breakthrough?
Oh god. You first.
That's a bad one to start with.
Okay, well, I've changed a lot. Grown a lot. It's been a few steps forward, a few steps back.
Yeah.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Oh, was that part of the question?
No, but
Oh.
yeah. Okay. Mary, you know who you are, said, I'm going on the race in this upcoming year.
Do you think her voice sounds like that?
Oh my gosh.
She probably sounds cool. Like, I'm going on the race this upcoming year.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you know these things? What organization?
Okay, my foot is cramping.